Hello, everyone, and welcome to the early Nerds in the Word live stream podcast here at the desk. Apparently, I got to do a robot intro. I cannot believe you get to watch me as we sit here and read the Bible. 10110301120. I broke binary. Okay, that was brutal. I'm not gonna lie. That was rough. But now we can say we did it. Tom. There you go, Tom. By the way, Pete still says hi. None of you are saying hi. That's a little rude. That's a little disconcerting that you don't appreciate Pete. But it's okay. Stuff like that. Anywho, yeah. That is what was just happening. Guys, it is another morning. It is a day. It is a startup. I hope you are having a good one. I know the heat has been going up, and the breathers need to be happening as well. And so I hope that you are able to catch a breather. Hello, Solomon, Gluten Tog, my good sir. I hope you are doing okay. Thank you. Hydration, station, magnification. In desperation. Yeah, that's right. I went rhyming there. Oh, and the stretches are good. Oh, I get it. I get it. Those of you who do not watch the stream but listen to it, there's a kitten that stretches, and he looks so cute, and it's like, I get that, kitten. If I could stretch like that all the time, I totally would. Totally would, but I can't, because I'm not a cute little kitten. I'm not. It's heartbreaking stuff like that. I'm doing great, thanks. Been working on my Shinigami Cold War homebrew. Shinigami Cold War homebrew. Those are words that I did not realize could even partake in the same sentence. Like that was a little bit of something to read there, Solomon. Like, whew, hefty. But that's cool. That's really cool. I'm interested. By the way, those of you who are like, what on earth is Solomon talking about? Solomon, in his trying to turn a frown upside down situation of being stuck in the hospital, has been working on D&D or RPG stuff for personal homebrew. Homebrew is like you create your own monsters or characters or races or stuff like that so that you can be able to play them in home stuff, not official D&D sessions, stuff like that, or anything like that. So it's really cool. Some of his stuff has been fantastic to really sink my teeth in, and especially one being a huge Bleach fan. Yeah, that's right. Ichigo says hi. Hello, Bonkai. Oh no, Solomon, you realize I spin on other people's things. Okay. Spin times 2. Is it because I said something? Is it because I did something? Because, wow. Dang. Harsh. Okay. Just a reminder, we do have awesome camps that are going on this summer. That's where I'm gonna leave it at be. We've got it on our social media at GW Nerds, at GW Nerds on both Facebook and Instagram. And as Solomon put out here on for you guys to see, but for you guys to listen, you can check it out at qiu.ca/camp, and that's where you can totally see what kind of RPG nerding that you can get involved in, do your own home brewing, good stuff like that. And oh no. Okay, 3 times the punishment wheel. I don't even have the original punishment wheel. We gotta talk to Tom on this, because now I have 3 spins to do. We should have just never featured a punishment wheel. Guys, you should be saving your punishment wheels for Tom. I'm just saying. Did you administer punishment wheels on Nuggets? Has he been doing some crazy stuff? That's my question. That's where I'm at. Okay. Cheapers. Anywho, guys, the other part is just a reminder. Thursday nights are Nerds Nights. And yes, the punishment wheel is nerds. The key word for punishment wheel is nerds, apparently. Anywho. There it is. Wow, he was like serious about this. 4 times the wheel spin. Those of you listening to the podcast, I am sorry that you keep hearing scary death sounds. That's just how it goes. Anywho, we have our prayer support time frame that's going on tonight. Where it's just a time where you can, if you want prayer, you can just hang out and be with us and chill with us on the channel. That's happening from 6:30 to 7:30. From 7:30 to 8:30 is our Bible study time that we've got going on called Wisdom Check. And it's a good time to be able to just to go through a book and chew through it. Lately, we've been going through Judges, and we're getting to the really not so fun reading parts. We just did chapter 18, and that was rough. That was rough. And chapter 19 is just going to get even rougher. So, if you want to cry a little bit and feel a little like gut-wrenching, join us for Judges to read that tonight. And that's again in our Discord community. Thank you, Solomon, for throwing the link to that. Yeah, and that's what we're doing in our community-wise and stuff like that. Anyway, guys, this one is going to be a longer chapter. We've got 45 verses, so 10 more than yesterday. And we are going to try and keep it to an hour time frame because Wilson does not want to be late for lunch program like he has been the past 2 times. Because, well, let's be honest, walking around kind of makes you have to plan super far in advance. So, anywho, if you grab open your Bibles, your readables of the goodness, this is Psalm 105 that we are hitting up here, guys. And we are taking a history lesson. That should be a wonderful hint at what's going on there. Has any one of these streams ever kept to a time frame? We've tried to. It doesn't work, but yeah. And don't know if I can heat baloney in any other voice than Judge Judy. Okay. Hear baloney in any other voice other than Judge Judy. Fair enough. That's understandable. Thank you for that little note there, Rabbi. That was cool. All right. We're going to hit up Psalm 105. We have no idea who authored this psalm, but you'll see why I think it's like a history lesson. Just be ready. Be ready. Here, and I'll lower it down. Just, there we go. We're like closer. We're like family. All right. I give thanks to the Lord and proclaim his greatness. Let the whole world know what he has done. Sing to him. Yes, sing his praises. Tell everyone about his wonderful deeds. Exult in his holy name. Rejoice, you who worship the Lord. Search for the Lord and for his strength. Continually seek him. Remember the wonders he has performed, his miracles, and the rulings he has given. You children of his servant Abraham, you descendants of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is our Lord, he is the Lord our God. His justice is seen throughout the land. He always stands by his covenant, the commitment he made to 1,000 generations. This is the covenant he made with Abraham, and the oath he swore to Isaac. He confirmed it to Jacob as a decree, and to the people of Israel as a never-ending covenant. I will give you the land of Canaan as your special possession. He said this when they were few in number, a tiny group of strangers in Canaan. They wandered from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another. Yet he did not let anyone oppress them. He warned kings on their behalf. Do not touch my chosen people, and do not hurt my prophets. He called for a famine on the land of Canaan, cutting off its food supply. Then he sent someone to Egypt ahead of them, Joseph, who was sold as a slave. They bruised his feet with fetters and placed his neck in an iron collar until the time came to fulfill his dreams. The Lord tested Joseph's character. Then Pharaoh sent for him and set him free. The ruler of the nation opened his prison door. Joseph was put in charge of all the king's household. He became ruler over all the king's possessions. He could instruct the king's aides as he pleased, and teach the king's advisors. Then Israel arrived in Egypt. Jacob lived as a foreigner in the land of Ham. And the Lord multiplied the people of Israel until they became too mighty for their enemies. Then he turned the Egyptians against the Israelites, and they plotted against the Lord's servants. Ham, appreciate that, Solomon. But the Lord sent his servant Moses, along with Aaron, whom he had chosen. They performed miraculous signs among the Egyptians and wonders in the land of Ham. The Lord blanketed Egypt in darkness, for they had defied his commands to let his people go. He turned their water into blood, poisoning all the fish. Then frogs overran the land and even invaded the king's bedrooms. When the Lord spoke, flies descended on the Egyptians, and gnats swarmed across Egypt. He sent them hail instead of rain, and lightning flashed over the land. He ruined their grapevines and fig trees and shattered all the trees. He spoke, and hordes of locusts came, young locusts beyond number. He ate up everything green in the land, destroying all the crops in their fields. Then he killed the oldest son in each Egyptian home, the pride and joy of each family. The Lord brought his people out of Egypt loaded with silver and gold, and not one among the tribes of Israel even stumbled. Egypt was glad when they were gone, for they feared them greatly. The Lord spread a cloud above them as a covering, and gave them a great fire to light the darkness. They asked for meat, and he sent them quail. He satisfied their hunger with manna, bread from heaven. He split open a rock, and water gushed out, to form a river through the dry wasteland. For he remembered his sacred promise to his servant Abraham. So he brought his people out of Egypt with joy, his chosen ones with rejoicing. He gave his people the lands of pagan nations, and they harvested the crops that others planted. All this happened so they would follow his decrees and obey his instructions. Praise the Lord. Well, there it is. That's Psalm 105. And can you tell that this was definitely a history lesson, right? Sitting through this and going by connection, key moments. And this is not just like a random history lesson. No, this is like Israel's history lesson. This is where we are sitting in, reflecting on Israel's histories, but also it is a reminder of God's work and all that. Oh, Rabbi, so right down. 1 Chronicles 16 verses 7 to 36. Wait, hold on. Isn't that what we read like a little bit ago? I feel like we did this not too long ago. Yes, this is right. This is David's song. We connected that to our verse of the day, and what's different and why. Well, one, I want to say, one is outright a song from David, the other one isn't. But that's just me observing who's, like, it's not attributed to David right off the hop. And it's funny how, dang, I'm just reading through this really quick. Okay. So, Rabbi is bringing up an interesting point. And those of you who want to... Okay, we're going to read this too. Psalm 105, comparison to Chronicles 116, 7 to 36. We'll sit on this, because they are very similar in some ways, but they're also very different in others. So, let's read it. From 7... 7 to 36. Man, we were trying to go for a tight time frame. We're doing okay so far. On that day, David, this is when David is like getting amped for when the ark is coming into the new tabernacle, where it's going to be in Jerusalem rather than Shiloh. On that day, David gave to Asaph and his fellow Levites the song of thanksgiving to the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord and proclaim his greatness. Let the whole world know what he has done. Sing to him, yes, sing his praises. Tell everyone about his wonderful deeds. Exalt in his holy name. Rejoice, you who worship the Lord. Search for the Lord and for his strength. Continually seek him. Remember the wonders he has performed, his miracles and the rulings he has given. You children of his servant Israel, you descendants of Jacob, his chosen ones. So very similar at the beginning, on the reminder of like we're praising God and to seek the Lord and his strength, continually to look for that. So how do we find that? We find that in remembering what he has done. So verses, starting back at verse 14. He is our Lord, he is the Lord our God, his justice is seen throughout the land. Remember his covenant forever and commitment he made to 1,000 generations. This is the covenant he made with Abraham, the oath he swore to Isaac. He confirmed it to Jacob as a decree, and the people of Israel as a never-ending covenant. I will give you the land of Canaan as your special possession. Practically copy and paste on that one. Okay, so we're good on that one. He said this, when you were few in number, a tiny group of strangers in Canaan, they wandered from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another. Yet he did not let anyone oppress them. He warned the kings on their behalf, do not touch my chosen people, and do not hurt my prophets. Again, practically a copy and paste. Oh, we're getting it. Literally, this is the next line. Psalm 105, verse 15, and Chronicles 1 Chronicles 16:23 is where they stop matching, with the last lines of both being, do not touch my messiahs, do not harm the prophets, before diverging. Interesting. Because, yeah, now the focus here, it starts going on to general stuff versus like a play-by-play of what was going on in Egypt. Or like what was going on with Joseph and the rise of Joseph, or what had happened specifically, Israel going to Canaan, or the famine and stuff like that. Here we have 23 to 27. Let the whole earth sing to the Lord. Each day proclaim the good news that he saves. Publish his glorious deeds among the nations. Tell everyone about the amazing things he does. The Lord, great is the Lord. He is most worthy of praise. He is to be feared above all gods. The gods of other nations are mere idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty surround him. Strength and joy fill his dwelling. So again, this is more like a global or cosmic kind of focus, as opposed to the individual family developing that was going on in Psalm 105, which gave a little bit more detail on, you know, how did Israel go from this tiny group of people in the middle of a desert into now this large population that is causing a threat for Egypt just by sheer numbers, and then they are wandering about and God does amazing works in the midst of this desert and stuff like that, right? Yeah, all this kind of like goes different from there on out. How it's all about God's glory, and how it's a global focus. And so that's interesting how that shift happens. Thank you for pointing that out, Rabbi. I would not have remembered that, and that's sad because literally we just covered part of this last week. Thank you for that reminder. That was really good. Okay, back to Psalm 105. Here we go. Okay, verse 12. He said this when they were few in number. Sorry, no, we were at verse 16. He called for a famine on the land of Canaan, cutting off its food supply, and he sent someone to Egypt ahead of them. Joseph, who was sold as a slave. They bruised his feet with fetters, like chains, like it'd be like handcuffs, kind of stuff like that. That's going on here. And placed his neck in an iron collar. Until the time came to fulfill his dreams, the Lord tested Joseph's character. The Pharaoh sent for him and set him free. The ruler of the nation opened his prison door. Joseph was put in charge of all the king's household. He became ruler over all king's possessions. He could instruct the king's aides as he pleased and teach the king's advisors. I find it cool how in the history lessons that's going on here, God is like taking the weaker or the lower stats, or like humbling people who had like a upper status and then bringing them low, but using that low point to raise them to a higher point than where they were before. And I say that with like Joseph, right? Because Joseph is one of 12 sons, right? He's got 11 other brothers. Like, there's no way this guy should be as important. Like, if anyone's supposed to be important, it's supposed to be Reuben. But Reuben is important in that he helped Joseph, not be killed and stuff like that. But it's just kind of nuts how the story of Joseph really is a constant reminder of, like, God takes the weakest, the contrary things, and uses it to show his might, his strength, and really just, he's God. He can do whatever he wants, kind of stuff like that. He did that with Abraham, like this 75-year-old dude who then later on has a kid at 100. So 25 years he's been sitting on, God's going to bless him and going to make his family into a nation, a father of the nations. And like God just flips that on his head and goes, yeah, it's going to be a little different. You're going to have kids. And like literally Sarah was 90. Like, what the heck? Jacob became more powerful than Esau, and Esau was the younger brother, not the oldest brother. And then same with Joseph. Joseph gets sold to slavery. We think, oh, well, that's the end of that dream. That's not going to work. Like, he's got this vision that he's supposed to be great. He gets sold into slavery, and just like God uses the trials that he goes through in Egypt, where like even his boss won't hear him out when, his boss's wife tries to, have fun with him, and he refuses her. So like, dude of integrity still gets kicked down into the ground. But then, as we just read, like, Pharaoh comes up with a problem. Oh shoot, who's gonna solve it? Well, they pull up Joseph because they hear he can figure out these dream things. And God uses that. He blesses him so that then he is able to not just only save like a nation, but save his family. In the midst of famine, like, to have the wisdom of what was going to happen. It's nuts. It's crazy. Rabbi's throwing down a whole ton of stuff here. Okay, first comment from Rabbi. It seems as though David's instructions to Asaph were a reciting of a psalm. But then after, do not touch the Messiah, he then says, sing to the Lord all the earth, proclaim his salvation day after day, declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous deeds among all peoples. And the psalmist then takes the liberty to diverge at that point to do just that, proclaim the salvations, declare all the deeds he did among all the different people, etc. Yeah, no, like, he gave the psalmist a bone and he just went with it, kind of vibe with that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So then, as Rabbi's continuing on, so when reciting a similar phrase, should we too start with the same intro up to "Do not harm my messiahs," and then diverge and explain what God has done in all of the world and even for us today. You deliver us from Haman, the ruler of Germany was destroyed, the nations surround us even today, and yet you will deliver us, etc., etc., etc. Right. What would the updated psalm look like, since it seems to be evolving over time to include all history up to this point? That's an interesting point. I never chewed on it that way there, there, Rabbi. Okay, this is I'm going into personal application on this one here, Rabbi, rather than just like only scholarly here on like assessing this and kind of processing. This is where I'm seeing scripture imprint on me. Okay, like this is where I'm seeing it hit on me. I'm not saying that this is what you're supposed to have as your takeaway, but what I'm doing in sitting on that and seeing these common phrases, right, and the psalmist has a few common phrases that pops up, right? Like, God is my refuge and strength and ever-present help in times of trouble, right? Like, God is my refuge and strength. He is my fortress. He is my rock and my salvation, right? Like, these are consistent things that we can be rooted in, and the psalmist can deliver different points where God has done that. It's like as if we are to take a seed of a thought, just as what you're throwing down, Rabbi, a seed of a thought, and then be able to do this reflection of like, okay, then how has God done that for you? Like, how has God been your rock? How has he been your salvation? How is he your refuge? How is he the one who sees how he is protecting you? And I'm not saying like you're like the messiahs or stuff like that, but like the whole part of like how when we are looking for God, we are being grafted into the family, we are being invested, like brought in closeness in relationship to him. How are we joining in the rejoicing? How are we joining in seeing how God has blessed us in unique ways, right? Like it's the hyperlink that happens for all of us. It's like, oh yeah, like it's that this happened for you, this happened for me, and it's like us working it together. Microcosms and macrocosms, right? Everyone is going through their own Egypt to Sinai to wilderness to promised land journey. So what we sing about Israel, we sing about ourselves, and what we sing about ourselves is a song about Israel. Yeah, 100%. Thank you. Yeah, that's. See, Rabbi knows how to put it in nicer words. I just keep talking till I hope it makes sense, and I hope you guys are following along in the journey in that way. If not, I'm sorry. Maybe I should just stop talking. I don't know. But this is. This is where my encouragement is always remember the stories of the past so that you can hold on to the hope of a future. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, for some of us, we can look at the past and be hurt by it, and I get that. Like, some of us really do stupid stuff. I get that. Hi, hello. My name may as well be Peter, just off of how some dumb things that I've done. Or if we want to go with that, like, just thick-headed people. Like, look at Abraham. Like, the guy made some dumb moves off of, like, trying to hide what was going on, and yet God was still in control. God still had it covered. God still had it figured out. Peter, that's the first pope, right? Oh, no. Anywho, we're not going to go into that. Where I'm sitting at is that it's important for us to reflect on history. It's important to remind us that in these different hopeless situations, in these things that people had faced, it can help potentially give us hope in our current state. Because I know I for sure lose hope pretty quick when I just look at sometimes the right now situation that's going on. I can be so much like the Israelites who were stuck between chariots and the Red Sea. And just be like, well, we are just euchred. I can be like the Israelites when they are surrounded by enemies. Okay, like Elisha, right? When he has this army coming at him that's gonna... They're peeved at Elisha because he's got this knowledge that God's throwing at him, and they're like, oh, we gotta take out that guy, because then when we take out that guy, things are better and all that goodness. And it's like, not wrong, but like I could be like Elisha's servant and just be freaking out and be like, oh, we are so euchred. There is just a whole army right in front of the city. There is no way out of this. But then am I looking at it the way like Elisha does and just go, God, open his eyes to see what's really going on here? I could be like Gideon, and as God dwindles down the numbers, go 300 against a full-fledged army? Like, are you nuts? And we do things with clay pots and torches? Like, how is that going to work? And stuff like that. Yes, Gideon, the tuba warrior, Pilo, you understood. Like, I can look at that, and if I was Gideon, I'd be totally getting why I'd be like, God, I don't see how that's going to work. Right? Like, logic starts processing. And I'm not saying God is illogical. I'm not saying that at all. Like, God is infinite knowledge, and just like we cannot even comprehend what he thinks on his like very chill non-thinking days, you know, like it's like max ultimate genius level for when God's just like playing checkers, you know, like it's just like, man. But what am I trying to get at here, guys? What I'm trying to say is, by Psalm 105, right? Like, we go through this history lesson all throughout it. And what I'm reminded of, and it's even at the beginning of the psalm, right? Like, it's the process of what's going on beforehand here. All this happened so they would follow his decrees and obey his instructions. Praise the Lord. All this happened. By all this, it's referring to everything in the back, right? His faithfulness, how he's delivered them from time and time and time again, has gone through them through desert experiences, through questioning how this is going to work, to like, God, how is this promise going to be a thing? This just does not logic. How, what? And all of it, all this happened so they would follow his decrees and obey his instructions. All of this was going on so that people... Hi, we're people. So that people can get it through our thick, stubborn heads. We should be listening to God. We should be sitting with God. We should be able to trust in God. So when he's saying something, not just like, if you do this, then if you don't do this, you're going to get in trouble and stuff like that. But like, God's word is a guide. It's a loving parent that speaks up and says, hey, kiddo, I just want you to go about this way. I think this would be best. I think this is going to help you, and it's going to be okay. Why does this do this? I don't know why I can't just give permission. Solomon, can you just give permission? Wow. I don't know why that's weird. Okay. It's just being ridiculous there, Pilo. Don't mind it. Okay, we know. Okay, this is what Pilo's throwing down, right? Okay, knowledge bomb. We know he has stepped in before. We know he can step in now. But when we're only staring at a tiny piece of the puzzle, it's hard to see the whole picture. Right. And the reminder in all of that is that we don't have to have the whole picture figured out, right? This is where, like, I appreciate how, Rabbi, you pointed out how Chronicles 16 veered off from what was going on in Psalm 105. What's up, Wally? And that difference was it was on a bigger scale. It was on a larger cosmic, not even cosmic, global scale, right? And we even read yesterday how things are even on on a cosmic scale, like how God brings justice, how God orchestrates things, how he makes things work and stuff like that. The reminder again, guys, this is why we reflect back on history, reflect on these verses that chew on history. All this happened so they would follow his decrees and obey his instructions. Let's try at the beginning too, because there was a little bit there. And we said this last time when we read 1 Chronicles 16. The reason why we emphasize these verses, okay? Like why we're sitting here. I'm going to read verses 1 to 4 here in Psalm 105. Give thanks to the Lord and proclaim his greatness. Let the whole world know that what he has done. Sing to him, yes, sing his praises. Tell everyone about his wonderful deeds. Exalt in his holy name. Rejoice, you who worship the Lord. Search for the Lord and for his strength. Continually seek him. We're to let the whole world know because we want them to get the picture too. Could you try switching to whole milk instead of 2%? It won't make you a giant, but it'll help make you a little bigger. That's interesting. Okay. That's a different take there, Rabbi, but okay. Yes, Wally, lunch is still on today. So we're good. I have a car now, so, thing. Woo, car. Yeah. Yeah, that's... So the reminder here, guys, the reflection on history, why we bother with history is not just only to... It's not only to remind us not to do certain things that mess us up, but also to remind us of how God is so good, how God has this master plan, both micro level and macro level. On how it all points to him, that we need him, that he does have the words of life that guide us and direct us on what we're supposed to do. But we need to listen to it. We need to shema. We need to hear, right? Fully hear, shema. To listen and not to just hear it, but to do the thing. That's the heart of shema. We can trust him. He's reliable. He's faithful. But again, we often get in our own way. We often create our own problems. We gotta work on it. Gotta work on it. So let's trust in him. Let's rely on him. He is our strength and our foundation. He's our fortress and our solitude. He is reflect on the keywords that have we got to remember who God is and how faithful he's been, how awesome he's been. Keep that at the forefront and trust in him, to rely on him. Because he is worthy of praise. He is faithful. He keeps his promises. In spite of our shortcomings. And I totally, animals hear a voice. Humans listen to a voice. Be a human, not an animal. Right. Right. Don't just simply hear. Listen and obey. Like, follow that guide. Yeah, 100%. I appreciate that, Rabbi. And Pilo, I want to come back to your comment. I get this. God is so big, it's hard to understand why he would care about someone as small as me. I think my problem here, guys, is even though I know God is faithful, I know he's reliable, I feel like partially it's kind of like my problem is that I don't want to inconvenience God. Not that, like, really I can be an inconvenience to him. He's an infinite being. He's all powerful. Stuff like that. But my thought is if he's able to deal with, like, the universe, the cosmos, bigger stuff and stuff like that, what's the point of me bringing up stuff? Like, I should just be able to figure it out. You know, like, I've got capacity to figure out my own problems. Why don't I just do that? But then the hard part is I try and do it on my own, and that's not always the way it's supposed to be. And I don't have strength. When I try and figure it out on my own, and we see this with Abraham, when we try and figure it out on our own, that doesn't always work, right? Like, it can often create a worse situation. Thanks, Solomon. Guardian. Yeah, I guess my thought that I'm chewing on here, guys, is that do we honestly feel like we can trust to ask, to share, to paint that picture as we were talking about yesterday of the chaos that we are in the midst of, and go, God, I know you can take control. I know you've got this covered. I know what you can do with chaos. I've seen how you follow in your promises. Help me to be able to take that step to just have even one foot go forward and trust in you. Especially when you feel like you don't see a way out. Yeah. So, follow up. How are you sitting in remembrance with God? How are you remembering things? And we've talked about this time and time again, like prayer reports, like, or praise reports and stuff like that. And reflecting on that, because when we have a praise book on how God has showed up, we can know that God has showed up. We can remember those moments. We can remember how we felt in those moments. We can remember and go, wow, God, you were there. So, yeah. How are you going to remember your moments? How are you going to give it to God? Pilo threw down, you have to remember to look in your rear view mirrors when you're driving. We have to remember our past or else we might crash and destroy our future. It's fair. It's a good call. Appreciate that, Pilo. All right, guys. Well, here's our prayer time. So if you want to throw down your prayer requests, please throw them into the chat right there. If you are on the podcast, throw it into the comments. And we definitely do check in to see if there's any comments on that kind of stuff, and we can be praying and being a support for you or for other people. I'm going to enjoy this coffee while I wait for prayer requests to come on in. Ooh, coffee. Nothing today. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. We can be doing that. We'll continue to pray for Pilo and the situation that's been going on. Oh, shoot. Pilo threw down, I'm dealing with an unfortunate amount of pain that started last night. I think I'm heading into a flare. Ouch. Definitely be praying for that. And yeah. We'll be praying for Rabbi's interview today, and that would be going smoothly. I know he had 2 interviews on Tuesday. Don't know how that went. Hopefully it went well, Rabbi. Hopefully you've got it where some peeps are like giving you hard decisions to say yes to. That would be kind of cool. As far as like good hard decisions to say yes to, not that it would be bad or stuff like that. Anywho, and we'll pray for Solomon in the hospital. Man, you've been rocking the hospital. Honestly, I should take notes from Solomon on if I'm ever like in a hospital situation or if I'm in a sucky situation. What do? I need to work on my building lore and D&D builds and homebrew stuff like that. Man, Solomon, you and Hoff would just get along swimmingly if you actually got to hang out in person. I have a real strong feeling on that one. Pilo's throwing down. Thank you, Solomon. Cara and I are praying for you too. She's praying for some hospital chaos. Entertainment chaos level stuff. No, that's cool. That's cool. Wally, if you're still on, is there anything you would like prayer for? I know we're gonna see each other very shortly, but like, why not share? Why not throw down where you're at or prayer, stuff like that? Ooh, Rabbi. I can't remember who said it, but there was a Rabbi Hillel, I think, who said, keep 2 notes in your pockets. One says, the world was made for me. And the other says, I am but dust and worms. If you are feeling too proud and materialistic accomplishments and disconnect from God, remind yourself you are dust and worms. If you are feeling too low and not loved, remember the entire world was made for you. Whew. Dang, that's intense. And Pilos, Hoff would help with the lore building. I would help with hospital goodies. Absolutely. And worms definitely not kosher. Don't eat worms. Bad idea. No. Grossness. Okay. Well, if that's it for prayer requests, I'm going to start praying. We're going to meet here. God, I thank you that we can meet in your word. I thank you for Psalm 105. A reminder to look at our past and see where you have guided us, where you have held us, where you have made promises to us, and how you've fulfilled those promises. How you are you're a God of details and of the big picture. So God, help us to remember to praise you, to hold that up, even above our current circumstances, because we could maybe feel like we're back in that desert. We could feel like we're back in Egypt, where we don't know how it's going to turn out. We feel like we're defeated. We feel like we don't know for sure how you're going to show up. But the promise is that you do. That you are our refuge and strength. You are our salvation. You are our redeemer. You're the one that holds us. You protect us. So God, help us to remember that above our situations, wherever we're at, and to praise you in all through these different circumstances. God, I pray for Pilo and the pain flares that she's getting. God, I pray that you would give her body rest, that you would give her body peace, that her current medication would be helping her throughout this, that she'd be able to find a way to distract her pain and be able to do it in a healthy way, that when she calls out on your name, that you would answer, that you would be there, that she would know that you are there, and tangibly see that and feel that and experience that. Hold her close to you. God, I pray also for Solomon, who is just hanging out in this hospital bed. I again pray for this infection to go away. God, that it would be gone, that it wouldn't be bothering him, that he'd be feeling better, that God, you'd be dealing with the cancer, that in the midst of this waiting, that the cancer has actually gone into recession, that it would actually even be like, what the heck is this? It's not here. Radical, crazy, nuts stuff. That'd be so cool. God, I thank you for this brother who checks in on me and shows what brotherhood's like, even from across the way. God, I pray that you would be with Rabbi in his job searching, and I know he's gone through 2 interviews. I pray for this other interview that's today, that would go well, that you would be guiding him, you would be giving him these opportunities, that he would see your hand in it and trust in you, and that you would be providing for him and his family. Thank you for his faith. Thank you for his trust. Thank you for his knowledge and his heart to dive deeper into your word, God. That is awesome. To take it seriously and to want to learn more. Thank you for that inspiration for me. God, I give you my chaos again. As my head starts spinning, as my heart starts going nuts, as worry starts creeping in, help me to hold on to you, to trust in you. Where I don't see a lot of hope, God, help me to see your hope and your peace and your provision and your safety and security. Father, help me hold on to your hand and to be guided by that, to listen to you instead of other voices that could be saying so much worse. Help me to hear your whispers louder than other people's screams. Help me to trust in you and rely on you. Thank you that you're faithful. Thank you that you are good and that you are a loving God. Help me to trust in you. Yeah. We ask this in your name. Amen. Oh. Guys, you made me cry again. Stop it. Stop it. Stop making me cry again. Okay. Hey, woman, we were being bad. Because you were chatting during prayer. How dare you? Wow, that was a lot of different things. Woo, crying, unleash the tears. Yeah. Yeah. How do baked beans learn from their mistakes? They use hindsight. Oh my word. No, I don't want Niagara Falls Pilo right now. I'm sure it would be helpful, but I'm good. I'm good right now. Yeah, stretch is a good idea. Oh, shoulder popped on that one. That was fantastic. Oh my word. Yeah. So guys, thanks again for tuning in, and oh my goodness. Wow, extra stretch. Why okay, and then hydrate. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so a reminder, just as Solomon threw down, join our Discord. It's a family, and tonight we've got our Thursday night Discord community connections with prayer and with reading of Judges. As far as our Utaku night, what I've been told back a bit by the person who is spearheading Utaku night, it will likely happen near the end of the month. So keep your eyes peeled for that. As soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. But be excited for that. Maybe we need a reward wheel for Pastor for Pilo. Reward wheel was probably a better idea, because if we try and make her do harsh things, that would not be going well. I just don't know how we're gonna make that work. We'll have to figure it out. Pilo and I have a lot of creative thought process between the two of us. We could probably figure it out. But yeah, no, just continue to develop that and create that. Continue to check in and see what's going on. We will be back at Nerds in the Word tomorrow. So excited, and at our normal time, not this early time craziness. But I do look forward to seeing you guys. And yeah, keep praying for one another. Keep on investing in one another. It's awesome to see the community that comes around here and supports one another. So let's be supportive. Let's keep on doing it. Let's keep on being awesome.